Hello and welcome to Yost Ice Arena in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as we are all set and ready for an in-state rivalry that is as heated as they come. It is the #1 team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines, looking for a series sweep over the #3 team in the country, the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan traveled into East Lansing and Munn Ice Arena last night and got a 3-0 win, the first shutout win in East Lansing for the Wolverines since the year 2000, and now looking for a sweep against the Spartans. My name is Ethan Sommers, joined by Perry Mourtzinos, and we could not be more excited to bring you the call on this one on WCBN Sports, the official student voice of Michigan Athletics. Perry, how are we doing today? You came in today straight from the basketball game that went on earlier. Michigan picks up another 40-point win against Rutgers.
Yeah, straight from Chrysler, where it was the first sold-out game all year, and we were talking about, it seems a little louder in pregame introductions. What we just had when the Wolverines came onto the ice was infinitely more louder. This is an arena ready to go. This is a team that looks ready to go, coming off a huge win last night, and I expect the crowd to be a huge factor here for the Wolverines, and hopefully, if you're a Wolverines fan, get in Trey Augustine's head early.
You mentioned Trey Augustine. The starting goaltenders in this one are no surprise to anyone. Trey Augustine and Jack Ivankovic, both in the net tonight for the Spartans and the Wolverines, respectively. Both outstanding netminders, NHL draft picks. Augustine, the Detroit Red Wings draft pick. Ivankovic, the Nashville Predators prospect. Michigan, after picking up the win, improves to 16-3, one of their best starts in program history. This team has shown all of the talent. Their only losses this season coming against, at the time, #2 Western Michigan on the road. And they dropped one in a series against now #2 team in the country, Wisconsin. But since that loss, and a loss at Penn State, but since that loss to Penn State, Michigan has won 5 straight, including 2 sweeps at home against the Buckeyes and on the road against Harvard. And the win, of course, last night against Michigan State. As the starting lines being introduced now, Michigan in their maize uniforms, Spartans wearing all green on the road. As Ivankovic gets introduced to a loud round of applause here in Yost. It is packed, and the line was out the door and around the block about 2 hours before puck drop. As we'll go silent now for the national anthem. now we are just about ready for puck drop. These two teams, I mean, Perry, they've been on each other's radars from the start of the season. The Spartans held 5 straight weeks the #1 spot in the national rankings until they got swept against Wisconsin. Michigan continued to win their matchups, took the #1 spot 2 weeks ago, now in their second straight #1, but all eyes have been pointing towards this series between teams that were obviously going to be in the top 3 of the rankings, with Wisconsin moving up to #2. The hype on social media between fans and I'm sure between the two rosters. And after Michigan picks up a huge last night, Michigan State looking to even up this until he wraps it around. Stramels takes it away in the Michigan State offensive zone. Duke comes away with the puck and fighting for it. Duke comes away with the puck and fighting for it with Daniel Russell. Coming away with it is Fantilli. Up the boards to Moldenauer. Moldenauer skates over the half line and dumps it deep for Michigan. Michigan State, they'll dump and chase. Not a lot of goals scored in the last one. 1-0 through 2 periods. Michigan scoring 2 in the third. As now in moves Horkoff, the nation's leading scorer entering this series. Spence dumps it down low for Horkoff. Horkoff wraps it around the net and gets it stripped away from him on the other end of the boards. And now a steal and a 2 away from him on the other end of the boards. And now a steal and a 2-on-1. Horkoff takes a shot wide of the net. Michigan still with it in the offensive zone. Now the Spartans will look to clear.
Yeah, that was a good look from Horkoff. Augustine was cheating over just slightly over to Hage's side on the 2-1, and Horkoff was right to shoot it there.
It's Barnett with it deep in the defensive zone for the Wolverines. Up top to McKinney. McKinney loses it, and now the Spartans on a 2-on-2. It's O'Connell moving in. O'Connell will have enough room for a shot saved by Ivan Kovic. A nice pad save, and the first shot on net is stopped. Goes up and over the boards for an offensive zone faceoff coming for the Spartans.
Yeah, that was a huge save by Ivan Kovic, considering 2 Michigan defenders were taken out there by Romani just kind of going across the crease. So huge pad save there by Ivan Kovic. Great way to start this game off for him.
Lindstrom and McKinney tie up for it, and the Wolverines come away. They'll move out. Valentini drops it off for Shifsky, who dumps it deep. Spartans have enough room to clear, and that they will. O'Connell enters the zone. And quickly knocked out by Fantilli. Goes the length of the ice, and the arm is raised for an icing.
Both teams just kind of feeling each other out to start. Each team has really laid one huge hit. Graham Mullen hit somebody in the neutral zone. Horkoff got hit along the boards. So both teams just kind of settling in. Ivan Kovic has the better save thus far, but it's going to be a battle here tonight. I expect a low-scoring affair. As you said, Ivan Kovic and Augustine, 2 of the best goalies in the country right now.
That they are, and the 2 best goalies in the Big Ten by quite the margin. Fantilli tied up, and the interception by Aiden Park, who scored one of the 3 goals last night in East Lansing. Ernest will dump it for the Wolverines. Stopped at the blue line and picked up at the opposite blue line by Rayon Mullen. Up the boards for Park. Ernest comes away, dumps it, and chases down underneath the net. Stopped near the point. Shot from the point by Park gets blocked in front. Michigan still with it and knocked to the ground, and the arm is raised. Ivan Kovic heads to the bench. A 6th skater will come on. A delayed penalty coming for the Wolverines. It's Hughes at the opposite blue line looking to set up a chance. Still a delayed penalty for the Wolverines. 16:50 to go in the first period. Hughes, he'll enter the zone. Tries to find a pass. Still no touch by the Spartans. Delayed penalty continues. Cross ice. Still no touch on it. A pass inside, and finally the Spartans gain possession. For play coming early on for Michigan. 16:33 to go in the first period. This power play entered the series 4th in the nation at a 30% clip.
Yeah, relatively easy call for the official there. Michigan had 6 power plays last night, went 0 for 6. So hopefully for the Wolverines, this top line production, this top power play unit can get something going for the Wolverines to get a huge lead at home and put the pressure back onto the Spartans.
Stramel and Hughes there for the faceoff, and Michigan comes away with it and will set up the power play unit. Hage near the point, got it intercepted and cleared away by the Spartans. Ivan Kovic will collect, leave it off for Perron. Oh. Russell hits the ice on a nice move from Perron. He'll enter the zone. Finds Hughes. Hughes' pass tipped by Stramel, who sends it the length of the ice once again. 16:03 to play in the period. First 30 seconds have been killed off the power play. No danger yet by the Wolverines. Hage moves in. He hits the ice. No penalty for one, and now it gets cleared out of the zone, and the Spartans on a 2-on-1. A shot saved by Ivan Kovic. Rebound cleared away by the Wolverines.
Great play by Valentini there to prevent the MSU player from getting a stick on it.
It was Eric Nielsen who had the chance. Michigan unable to get possession going in their offensive zone. It gets cleared the length of the ice once again. Inside 50 seconds left on the power play. Perron up the ice to McKinney, who drops it back for Robertson. Second power play unit on for the Wolverines. And cleared out of the zone once again. Rayon Mullen will collect.
Sloppy penalty from the Wolverines. They won the face-off to start it, but just have been really unable to get clear entrance into the zone, marked by when Hage got tripped up.
McKinney will move in now with 20 seconds left on the power play. Drops it for Rayon Mullen at the point. Pass down low for Park. He shoots, and it goes up and over. Pass down low for Park. He shoots, and it goes up and over the net. Still in play, though, around the boards. Now to the point to McKinney. Rayon Mullen finds Robertson. Last 3 seconds on the power play. Behind the net, tied up on the boards, and the power play is over. Michigan State draws back to even strength. Michigan still with it in the offensive zone, but not for long as Tiernan Shouty moves up and moves into the offensive zone for the Spartans. Whiffs on the shot, sticked away by Ivan Kovic. Rayon Mullen drops it for Robertson, up the boards to Ernessy, who leaves it, and Shifsky will chase. Under 14 minutes to play in the first period. The Spartans tip it in and will chase. Fantilli around the boards to Shifsky, who will look to clear. He stops on a dime, sends a cross-ice pass, and Ernessy enters the zone for the Wolverines. Draper hustling for the puck, but can't get there first. And out come the Michigan State Spartans off the boards, just wide of the stick of Stramel, and that'll be an icing and an offensive faceoff coming for the Wolverines with 13:32 to go in the first period. Still 0-0. Shots are 2-1 on the Spartan side.
Spartans have been increasingly aggressive on the forecheck, something to monitor for this game. Michigan, so far this year, has done a relatively good job of not turning it over in their own zone. That could rear its ugly head at any moment, similarly how it did for the team last year.
Michigan can't touch it, avoiding an offside. Now Perron will enter the zone. 3-on-2 for the Wolverines. Perron lost the handle, and it wraps it around the boards. A pass up in front for Moldenauer. Couldn't get a good control of the puck, but it counts as a shot on net, saved by Augustine. Now coming the other way are the Spartans. Centering pass up to the point, and a shot that's deflected up and over the net. Barnett fighting for it. Up the boards for Moldenauer. Tries to shovel it, but it gets intercepted by Lee, who hits the ice. Delayed penalty coming. Sixth skater on for the Spartans. Lee backs it all the way up to his own net. Arms still raised. Now it's Shouty to Lindstrom at the point. West finds Lee. Lee with the shot, gets tipped wide on the rebound opportunity and stopped by the Wolverines. Whistle blown, 12:16 to go in the first period, and a power play coming up. Hughes gets called for tripping, and now Michigan State will get their first power play opportunity after a short break.
That was a great shift there by Riker Lee. He was wide open in the slot initially, and the Spartans just really weren't able to get to him, and then drew the penalty on Hughes with just a nice, really simple stick angle. So great shift from Riker Lee. Gives the Spartans really their first great offensive opportunity. 3-0 loss on the road, or at home, excuse me, to a very good team, and then you have to come here and play at Yost, one of the toughest arenas to play in college hockey. You've got a great goalie behind you in Trey Augustine, who they're confident in. If they can find a way to break Ivan Kovic, you hope that eventually one goal can just keep on snowballing. But against a goalie really as hot as Ivan Kovic is playing, that first goal is going to be the hardest one to score.
Michigan State 24% on the power play, and a 10 for 41 clip. Michigan incredibly successful on the penalty kill unit as they entered the series 19th in the country at an 83% clip.
It's all puck retrieval on the penalty kill right now for the Wolverines. Retrieve missed shots, retrieve errant passes, and just clear it down to the end of the ice.
Michigan State wins the face-off, and they'll set up in the offensive zone on a 5-on-4. To the point to Basga. Martone underneath. Sends a cross-ice pass, deflected away by Ernest.
Great stick there by Ernest.
Michigan State still with it. One-time shot blocked out in front by his own teammate. Now it's Lee. Moves in on the right circle. Pass backwards, almost intercepted by Ernest. Still with it is Lee. That pass deflected away by Keenan Draper, and Michigan will get two new killers on the ice. Fantilli gets a hold of it and sends it down the length of the ice. 1:15 left on the penalty.
Yeah, that allowed Fantilli and Duke to get off the ice as well, the two defensemen on the PK unit. Great job just getting sticks and passing lanes by the Wolverines.
Lindstrom sends it deep. Ivan Kovic tries to retrieve it, but can't. Kept in the zone by West, who shovels it underneath for Romani. Michigan fighting for it, and that pass errant goes down the length of the ice, and now under 50 seconds to go on the penalty kill for the Wolverines. 11 minutes to play in the period. Still 0-0. Lindstrom enters. Sends it across. Romani to the point to West, who can't handle the pass. Augustine will collect, as will the Michigan State power play unit. Up the ice for Lindstrom, who couldn't handle the pass. Fantilli pokes it back into the offensive zone once again. 17 seconds left on the power play. That pass behind the Michigan net. Tries to find Lindstrom at the circle. Pass goes wide. Ernest ties him up near the blue line. Perron trying to get a handle. Duke comes away with it and sends it the length of the ice, and Michigan will get back to full strength. Both teams with one power play opportunity, both teams with a successful penalty kill. And we remain at 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, halfway through the first period. Robertson trying to retrieve behind the Michigan net. Tied up 2v2, and the Wolverines come away with it. Valentini got tied up, no penalty though. Stramel enters the zone for the Spartans, makes a move, now tries a shot that gets deflected by Robertson. Puck bouncing near the blue line and taken away by the Spartans. Martone drops it off for Russell. Russell enters. Tries a centering pass. It gets deflected away towards the other side of the boards. Now a loose puck gets retrieved by Rayon Mullen. And an opportunity for the Spartans. It's Shouty entering. Tries a pass off the skate of Schock.
Great recovery by Schock, who just jumped onto the ice.
Out in front, loose puck covered by Ivan Kovic, and a whistle. And it's Michigan State, so you're going to expect some extracurriculars afterwards. Shouty and Schock pushing and shoving. Officials come and separate the two teams. Shots are 5-2 in the Spartans' favor. 8:52 to go in the first period. No goals thus far. Each team with a power play opportunity, but unsuccessful.
Yeah, that entire sequence there that the Spartans had in the offensive zone was really predicated by Schock and Barnett just being a little late to get onto the ice. And Schock initially made a really good play and then just kind of bounced around. And Barnett had a very fortunate tie-up in front of the net to allow Ivan Kovic to freeze the puck. But a little hairy there for the Wolverines.
Michigan trying to clear the zone. The Spartans still with it. It's Nielsen to the point for Ralph. Puts it off the boards. There to collect is Van Sage. Underneath it's Lee. Centering pass and a shot wide of the post. 5 ends for the Spartans. Michigan comes away with it. Still yet to clear the zone. Long defensive shift for the Wolverines. Now they finally clear. Shifsky gets knocked on the boards. McKinney comes away with it and enters, gets knocked down near the blue line. But the Wolverines get a chance to change. And a whistle.
Yeah, this is going to be on Shifsky for a slash. Like kind of a just frustration penalty.
Hate
Maybe
to correct
not.
you here, Perry, but I believe it's a Michigan State penalty called on Eric Nielsen.
That's, yeah, Shifsky kind of did one of these. He heard the whistle and he went like, oh, like, that's on me. But fortunate for the Wolverines there.
And with 8 minutes to play, it appears, except no Spartans have joined the ice, nor is there a Spartan in the penalty box. But with 8 minutes to play, it appears Michigan will get their second power play opportunity. And
yeah, I think the Spartans saw what I saw, where Shifsky just kind of broke Nielsen's stick in half.
And now Nielsen will skate across the ice to the penalty box, and the Michigan State penalty kill unit comes on. Mentioned before, Michigan, the 4th best power play unit in the country, entering this series this weekend with the Spartans. However, a true testament to how good this conference is, 3rd in the Big Ten, with Wisconsin being the number 1 and Notre Dame being number 3. Michigan wins the offensive zone faceoff. It's Hughes near the point. That pass intercepted, and Hughes able to retrieve it near the blue line. Hage enters once again. He's got some room. Hage drops it off for Horkoff, a shot and a goal. Will Horkoff, the nation's leading goal scorer, adds another one to the
I was going to say before, the Wolverines have to hope to enter the zone better than they did on their last power play to score. You don't need to enter the zone, though, if the Spartans give it right to you. And Hage to Horkoff, we've said it so many times this season. Hopefully, we will keep saying it infinitely more times. What a special play by Michael Hayes, just dropping off the puck side.
A beautiful finish by Will Horkoff, his 19th goal of the season, which leads the nation.
Leads the nation by 6-2, I believe.
That, I believe, is correct. He led by 5 entering the series. We don't know about the stats from last night, but Horkoff did not score. Wolverines enter once again, tried to find Aiden Park in front, intercepted by the Spartans. Michigan entering this series there were 4 players in the country tied for the lead in points. 3 of those are Wolverines. All 3 of those picked up a point last night as well. Hughes, Horkoff, and Hage. Michigan's first goal. Spartans looking to answer. They enter the zone. Russell moves in, poked away by Shivsky. Kept in, and now Robertson with it. Another stick broken. That, I believe, is the 3rd already on the Spartan side. A pass attempted to dump deep, caught by Ivan Kovic, and a whistle.
Yeah, Spartans bench starting to get a little frustrated, I think, with the amount of sticks being broken. That was kind of just a drive-by there on Lindstrom's stick. O'Donnell's kind of over here as well. So something to monitor. Perhaps it leads to a frustration penalty for the Spartans in a little bit, but a lot of hockey at play.
Michigan scores on the power play goal. It was Horkoff from Hage on the goal. 6 minutes to play in the first period. Shivsky gets stopped at mid-ice, and the Wolverines still with it. It's McKinney who circles back. Backhands it to Schock, who drops it off for Rayon Mullen. Michigan looking to enter the offensive zone, and that they do. Valentini wraps it around. There waiting is Horkoff, who just scored a few minutes ago. Spartans come away with it, lifted into the Michigan State offensive zone, taken away by Schock. He enters center ice and dumps it deep. It's Spence who gets knocked down, and Horkoff responds with a big hit. Words being exchanged. Horkoff, after he scored his goal, got shoved a bit by a Michigan State player and went right after him. Didn't worry about celebrating the goal. Went right after him, gave him a little finger point too, once he realized his teammates were chasing after him to give him a hug. Lots of bad blood between the two schools, and now Michigan State with their second power play opportunity. Michigan was able to convert on their second chance. Can the Spartans do the same? Will Horkoff in the box for 2 minutes. Michigan State wins the faceoff. A quick shot saved by Ivan Kovic. Wrapped around the boards for Lee. Lee near the point. Drops it off for Basgel. Basgel down low. Stramel tries a cross-ice pass. It hits off Duke's skate and almost deflects into the net, but just travels wide. The Spartans still with it. Lee with the shot. It gets deflected up and over and into the netting. So 4:55 remaining. Michigan leads 1-0. And 1:33 left on the Spartan power play.
Yeah, Matt Bosgall, the defenseman, made a really, really nice play to keep this puck in the zone and allow for that second chance for the Spartans. You would have liked to see that be cleared, but Keenan Draper still made the right play, just going around the boards over to the far side, just about a foot from being out for a clear.
Stramel ready for the faceoff against Cole McKinney. On the right circle in the offensive zone for the Spartans. Crowd begging for the puck to be dropped. And finally it does. Michigan comes away with it after a tie-up. Robertson looking to clear, lost control of the puck. comes loose. McKinney now able to shovel it the length of the ice. Under a minute 20 to go in the power play. 4:40 to go in the period. That counts as a shot on goal, as it was on target to Augustine, one of the easier saves he'll make. Basgol with it at the blue line. Tries to rip a shot. Martone now, that one blocked out in front and wide. A shot and a second effort for Russell, and it just glides wide of the post. Michigan State with a real opportunity there, still with it in the offensive zone. A shot blocked in front, and unable to keep it in is Basgol. It was Riker Lee who had a few chances at a shot, all deflected before they could reach Ivan Kovic.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic in front of the net of Ivan Kovic right now.
30 seconds left in the power play. Michigan State with it in the offensive zone. Martone moves in, drops it off for West. An extra pass for Lee. A shot saved by Ivan Kovic. Loose out in front. A scrum for it, and cleared away by Barnett. Kept in by West. Martone takes a shot. Saved in front by Ivan Kovic. Robertson behind the Michigan net, and he'll send it the length of the ice. 5 seconds left on the power play, and Michigan will get their second kill in their second chance shorthanded. And they return to full strength. Will Horkoff back on the ice. The Spartans 11 shots, all saved by Ivan Kovic, and the Wolverines lead 1-0. Approaching 3 minutes to play in the period. At the point, a shot from the point gets deflected out in front.
A couple juicy rebounds here that the Spartans have just been unable to connect on.
Geary with the one-time shot gets blocked by Hughes. West tries a shot, didn't have enough juice on it. O'Connell circles. O'Connell moving in, Draper sticking with him. Tries a centering pass, gets blocked away by Ivan Kovic. Now Hughes with it in a one-on-one. Tries a nifty move, couldn't control the puck, but the Wolverines will get fresh skaters on. 2:30 to play in the first period. Rayon Mullen behind his own net. He'll reset for the Wolverines. Up for Hage. Hage with some dangerous speed enters the offensive zone. Tries a backhand pass, but lost control of the puck before it.
Sometimes it looks like Hage just moves at a different speed than everybody else on the ice.
Nice poke check by Rayon Mullen. Shouty from the point, blocked out in front. Still with it are the Spartans. It's his twin brother, Travis Shouty, and Tiernan Shouty, both on the ice together now for Michigan State. A long shot, easily gloved by Ivan Kovic, and a whistle with 1:49 to go in the first period.
Yeah, that penalty kill that the Wolverines just had was a little bit more scary than the one previously. Ivan Kovic coming up huge. He gave up a couple rebounds just simply because he really couldn't see what was going on ahead of him. He was in the right spot every time, though, and able to make the initial save, and the Wolverines defenders did a really nice job tying up Spartans forwards and getting their six on other six and just being able to handle a couple different stick lifts. So good penalty kill by the Wolverines, but it kind of feels like they're limping to the end of this period just a little bit.
Michigan State has had the majority of offensive chances, 13 shots to Michigan's 4, but Wolverines converting on a power play. Great shot. Will Horkoff only needs one of those attempts to convert. Ivan Kovic's been great. 14 saves already on the night. Puck gets deflected up and over, and it'll be an offensive face-off coming for Michigan. That puck was caught by someone in the crowd. 1:34 to go in the first period. Michigan special teams unit getting the job done, and Ivan Kovic in his best form has been the story of the first period. McKinney gets called off with a face-off. Moldenauer steps in, and Michigan State comes away with the defensive zone face-off. Now looking to attack. It's Russell. Tries to dump it in. Taken away by Tyler Duke. Duke looking for options. Passes it off for Moldenauer at center ice. He'll dump it in for the Wolverines and come off for a change. Cross ice pass deflected by Shifsky. Fantilli there, wraps it around the boards. Shifsky at center ice, taken away by Stramel. He'll enter the zone. Moving in with Fantilli on him, drops it off at the point for Barno. Extra pass for Lee, shot saved. Ivan Kovic stretching out to get the rebound opportunity, but can't. Finally cleared out of danger, but still in the offensive zone. Another shot from Lee, blocked in front by Stramel. Lee, another shot. Blocked in front, saved by Ivan Kovic, who gets taken down. Van Sagi ended up on top of Ivan Kovic on the ice, and the Wolverines are going to come protect their goalie. They got tied up there in front of the net. Not a comfortable position it looked like for Ivan Kovic to be in. Both of them hit the ice, and they'll call Van Sagi for a penalty, and the Michigan power play will get another opportunity to close out the first period. 22 seconds remaining in the period, so those 22 seconds will be spent with a man advantage, and then if no goal scored, will carry over to the second period.
Yeah, there's just frustration setting in. That was really frustration from Vincegi, but frustration from the Spartans, really. I don't know if it's the sticks breaking or kind of just the chirping going on along the benches, but probably it's really Ivan Kovic. He's really just stemming every chances the Spartans have. The Spartans have 16 shots on net. They have the better offensive chance in this game, but they just cannot solve Ivan Kovic, and that's got to be frustrating for an offense as high-powered and with this much talent as the Spartans do, and it's beginning to kind of set in. It's been almost 4 periods of this.
Correction, and it's actually offsetting penalties going both ways. And Brandon Naranjo is furious at the call. Called on Ivan Kovic as well. So both guys get a penalty. Serving the penalty for the Wolverines is Valentini, so it'll be 4-on-4 action for the last 10 seconds of this period, as Michigan State looks to attack in the final few seconds. Manisto, pass deflected. Geary, a shot from the point, gloved by Ivan Kovic. And 2 seconds remaining. You have to imagine that last night Michigan gets a shutout. Ivan Kovic has 23 saves. At Michigan State, one of their points coming into this one, traveling to Ann Arbor, Adam Nightingale had his team focus on taking more shots on net and really try and overwhelm Ivan Kovic. Already with 17 shots in the first period, but so far nothing able to get by him. Ivan Kovic 17 for 17 as set for a face-off now. 2 seconds remaining. Can't imagine much will come from this. As Michigan wins the faceoff, and that will end the period. We come back a minute 38 of 4-on-4 play still to go after offsetting penalties from Ivan Kovic and Van Sagi. But Michigan leads 1-0 despite being down in the shots department, 17-4. That one goal coming on the power play. Michigan State with 2 power play opportunities, 0 for 2 on those. Michigan 1 for 2 on their power play chances. Will Horkoff scores the lone goal of the first period, assisted by Michael Hage. 17 shots once again by the Spartans, all saved by Ivan Kovic, who has been truly impressive so far. Not just tonight, but that makes it 40 total shots by Ivan Kovic.
Yeah, he's been awesome tonight. And really, if you want to really nitpick, the really only issue that he has given up some rebounds, and a couple of those have simply been because there's been a ton of traffic in front of him and he simply cannot find the puck. But the Spartans have had a couple chances on these rebounds, and that's something to just continue to monitor in this game. They're getting a ton of traffic to the net, and I wonder if that's going to be an area of focus for the Wolverines to kind of shore up, even though they have done a great job of getting in the way, blocking some shots, not allowing a ton of pucks to get to Ivan Kovic.
Yeah, there's been plenty of shots blocked, sticks in passing lanes. The Wolverines have done a great job of that they've done all season. But you'd have to imagine at this rate, I mean, 17 shots to 4, that's unsustainable for the Wolverines,
yeah.
1-0 lead. Michigan State has had a ton of chances, a lot of close calls, some pucks just drifting wide of the net. You'd have to think Brandon Naranjo is looking for more out of his team despite having a 1-goal lead.
And they're giving the Wolverines, that is, are giving the Spartans a ton of space throughout the neutral zone. They're really having no issues getting into the Wolverines' defensive zone. And then once they're able to do that, the Wolverines have done a nice job of hunkering down. And we've already talked about Ivan Kovic being a phenomenal last line of defense. But the concern is, okay, if you can't retrieve the pucks and if you can't keep clearing it and you just have to sit back there, eventually one's going to go in, regardless of how good your goaltender is or anything like that. So hopefully for the Wolverines' sake and for Ivan Kovic's sake, who's just being stuck back there time and time again, I don't know if it leads to a more aggressive forecheck. I don't know if it leads to more aggressiveness in the neutral zone. I really don't know what the easy fix is. But the Spartans have had a relatively easy time entering the Wolverine zone over and over and over again.
Michigan leads 1-0. We will take about a 10-minute break before the beginning of the second period. Once again, it will be a minute 38 seconds of 4-on-4 action to start the second period. Michigan leads 1-0 after the goal from Will Horkoff, despite trailing the shots 17-4. Michigan State applying a lot of pressure, but none breaking on Jack Ivan Kovic. Here, you're listening in to WCBN Arena. For his nation-leading 19th goal of the season. Shots compared to Michigan's 4. However, 17 saves from Jack Ivan Kovic. For action to start this period. Face-off won by the Horkoff. Horkoff drops it off for Hage, and Hage moves in to the slot. Now circles back near the point, tries to find Robertson, but that pass intercepted by Basel. Lifted up and streaking free was Manisto, but cleared away was up by Ivan Kovic. 10 seconds left in 4-on-4. Rayon Mullen will reset and let the clock tick off. Michigan will get 3 fresh skaters on for now to their respective benches. Michigan State enters the zone. Lee with it. Tries to lift a shot from a tough angle. Gets nothing on it. Spartans still with it. Tied up on the boards. It's Rayon Mullen. Michigan State comes away with it. Fired towards the point. Now back down low. Intercepted by the Wolverines. And they'll clear the zone. In moves Tyler Duke. Takes a shot from the point, sticked away easily by Augustine. 2-on-2 now for the Spartans. Wilson lifts it in, taken away by Duke. Fantilli tries to corral it, can't get there in time. Draper drops it off for Moldenauer. Gets hit near the blue line and fires it deep. Ernest down low, and great pass to Draper. saved by Augustine.
Great redirect by Draper, getting a low puck up high.
Ernest moves in, around the net, looking for options. Now fires a shot, saved by Augustine. Rebound opportunity still loose, collected by Ernest. Cross ice, shot saved. A few nice saves there made by Trey Augustine, and now Gary and Draper having at it, being separated by the officials.
Aiden Park did a great job working against Patrick Geary, forcing a tie-up but not allowing Geary to get a clean stick on the puck. Eventually it bounced out to a Wolverine and they were able to get another opportunity. That kind of stuff is important, right? Just puck retrieval, get extra possessions. It's two elite goaltenders, right? So how many possessions can you get? How many rebounds can you get? How long can you keep the other team in their defensive zone, force their defenders to stay in rotation, keep working?
Perron keeps it in the zone for the Wolverines. Now gets taken down by Lindstrom, and Michigan State will enter the offensive zone. Centering attempt drifts wide of the net. Michigan State still with it behind the Michigan net. Tied up on the board. Schock has him. Robertson on the chase. He'll get there first. Off the boards. And collected by Valentini. He'll enter the zone for the Wolverines. Drops it off for Hughes. Nice pass to Perron. Extra pass, but a Spartan there waiting for it. Michigan still with it in the offensive zone. Rail Mullen spins away from a defender, hits the ice, and a great centering pass for TJ Hughes, saved by Augustine. Perron between the legs, found Hughes out in front. Tipped in deep by the Spartans. Up the ice for Spence. Spence looks for an option, finds Horkoff, who enters. Stramel there to take it away from him. Barnhill wraps it around the boards. Trying to keep it in was Barnett, but it cleared the zone. Spence gets taken down. Nice pass to Horkoff, but taken away quickly by the Spartans. Hage lifts it to the corner. Caught near the blue line by Horkoff. Backhand pass for Hage. He'll enter with some speed. Drops it off for Horkoff. Shot wide of the post.
Both of them knew exactly where they were going on that play.
Horkoff and Hage. Such great Kevin Miller pass there for the one that got Michigan their lone goal earlier in the first period. Stramel off the boards to Vinsagi. Now entering is McKinney. Tries to find Shifsky on the 2-on-1. Couldn't corral the pass. Still with it, though, is McKinney. Off the boards and to the point to Fantilli. Cross ice. Shot by Robertson. Rebound opportunity. Couldn't get a shot off. Was Shifsky. Still with it. Taken away by Geary. And he'll clear the zone. Knocked down by Robertson. Stir back there. And Vinsagi will enter the zone. Lee now moving in for the Spartans. At the slot, takes a shot and goes up and over the netting for a faceoff. 14-17 to go in the second period.
Riker Lee has been incredibly impressive for the Spartans. I believe that's his 5th shot of the game. Just really finding ways to get around the puck, high motor, retrieving pucks, setting up teammates. He's elite on the forecheck tonight. He's been really, really crucial to the Spartans.
Michigan wins a defensive zone faceoff and lifts it out of the zone. At center ice, Lindstrom sends it back deep. There with it is Romani. Tries a cross ice pass. Nobody home. Lifted out. Basgul drops back, sends it off the boards for Romani once again. No icing against the Wolverines, and Barnhill will recollect. Romani enters with some room, takes a shot blocked out in front. Valentini drops it off, and Perron has some space, makes a nice move, but a nice poke check by the New York Rangers prospect Sean Barnhill. A tie up in the corner Michigan comes away with it. Valentini tries to clear. Perron will. Shock from his own blue line. Stolen away by Nielsen. He'll send it into the corner. Geary finds Nielsen. And he'll enter. Makes a move and loses control of the puck. It gets sent the length of the ice. And an icing called against the Wolverines. 12:42 to go in the second period. Michigan still leads 1-0. Michigan inching back in the shots department, now trailed 19-10 to the Spartans.
Yeah, Wolverines have done a much better job just getting up on these Spartan skaters, just not allowing them as much free ice as they had in the first period. They're forcing more Spartans to play dump and chase rather than get clean entry in the zone, and they're doing a nice job keeping the puck in control in their own zone.
Michigan comes away with the face-off. It's Duke off the boards and intercepted. Duke knocks it back down. Looking to clear once again. Evades 3 Spartan skaters and does. Jump deep, but Fantilli there to chase. Fantilli behind his own net. Wraps it up for Hage. Hage cross ice for Duke. Duke will dump it. Hand up and a penalty coming against Michigan State. Charlie Stramel. I believe he's going to get called for boarding. Cross check.
Yeah, I didn't exactly see where that came from. There's a huge little thing we've got here. I don't know if that played a role, but
came on Michael Hage, I believe, near the Michigan blue line. Got knocked down. We're getting a second look now as, right there on the back of his neck. Gets a cross check from Stramel, an easy call to make for the official, and Michigan now will get their third power play opportunity. 1 for 2 on the night. 4th best power play unit entering this series this weekend. Converting at a little higher than a 30% clip, but power play goals in both of these 2 contests against Michigan State.
This would be a huge goal if the Wolverines were able to convert on this power play, just continue to turn up the frustration. They're allowing goals, their sticks are getting so far in this period. If they can just continue to turn up the frustration, that can lead to more stupid penalties for the Spartans. Ivan Kovic, a 2-goal lead, the way that he's playing right now would be extremely, extremely important for the Wolverines.
Power play unit awaits the Michigan State penalty 2-minute power play coming.
Elected to go with Perron as the point guy, so 5 forwards out there for the Wolverines.
Perron with it near the point. Finds Valentini. Now Horkoff underneath the net. And a pass errant by Valentini. He'll go the length of the ice. 1:23 remaining on the power play for the Wolverines. Perron drops it back for Hage. Hage with some speed will enter. Hughes tries a cross ice pass, gets blocked and cleared by the Spartans.
Yeah, huge for the Spartans. Allow their top PK unit to get off the ice and get some fresh legs out there.
Under a minute in the power play. Hage will enter. Drops it for Valentini. 2 Spartans there and a clear, successful. Perron waiting for everyone to come back behind the blue line. Hughes, another pass deflected. Perron, cross ice for Hage. Hage makes a nice move. Stays with it. Now Michigan will set up. Perron, back for Hage. Hage takes a shot saved by Augustine. Rebound kept in by the Wolverines. Perron drops it off for Hage. Hughes shovels it for Robertson. A pass in for Horkoff and another great save made by.
If there's ever a goal that the Wolverines, as players on the ice touching the puck, great job by Perron to keep it in. And then Hage able to get over Hughes, he got over Robertson, then find Horkoff, great backdoor. But what a play by Trey Augustine to save that puck.
Incredible
keep this game
save.
at 1-0. Just
incredible save by Augustine.
Special save.
stretches his right skate out all the way. And that was two great opportunities for Horkoff that got robbed. He goes to the bench shaking his head, wondering how he doesn't have his second goal of the night. McKinney plays it off for Robertson. Takes a shot blocked in front. Park tries to find Robertson. Off the boards, Michigan still with it. It's Malcolm Spence. And Michigan State kills the penalty. They return to even strength and clear the defensive zone. Rail Mullen collects for the Wolverines. Park tries to drop it off for Spence, but stays with it. Now Spence with it. Tries a pass for McKinney, couldn't get a stick on it. And Michigan State coming the other way. Park gets in the way. And Duke and Nielsen fighting for it in the corner.
Yeah, Spence threw that puck about 9 inches to a foot off the ice, hoping McKinney could kind of tap out midair. Would have been a sick play if it had worked.
Ooh. That pass gets deflected up and into the Michigan State bench. So a whistle and a neutral zone faceoff. 9:30 to go in the period. Michigan leads 1-0. Michigan State 17 shots in the first period, and over halfway through the second, they've only got 2 on net. Most of this time in the second period has been spent in the Michigan offensive zone. Now Michigan State gets an opportunity to attack. Slow roller towards the net, gets sticked away by Tyler Duke. Coming away with it is Fantilli. Ernessy at mid-ice. Drops it off for Draper, who will enter the zone. Drops it off for Ernessy. He has it in the corner. Sends it down low for Draper. Draper fighting for it. He gets dragged down to the ice. Russell able to clear. Make that Shifsky. Free puck collected by Hughes. Nice cross-ice pass for Perron. Whiffs on a shot, but still has it. Moves in. Tries a shot, and it's blocked. Now in moves Russell for the Spartans, but off 8 minutes, 32 seconds to play in the second period. Michigan leads 1-0. And a neutral zone face-off incoming.
Gritty, he's been fast. He's doing a great job of just keeping the puck in play. High motor, you can always find on your third line like the Wolverines have.
Hughes wins once again another face-off. Tries a centering pass for Moldenauer, but couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah, feels like Hughes is undefeated at the dot tonight, just every single time.
I was about to say the same thing, Perry. Feels like he has yet to lose a face-off. Face-offs are pretty split between the two teams in total, but it seems like every time number 13's out there in Mays, the Wolverines come away with the puck. Ivan Kovic plays it from behind his own net. Off the boards to Spence. Drops it off for Moldenauer. He'll hit the brakes and wraps it around for Spence. Spence shot off, and then, as you mentioned, the rebound from behind the net tried to knock it off the back of Augustine and got pinned on the side of the net. Michigan wins an offensive zone faceoff. Shifsky from the point gets tipped into the corner. Michigan State looking to clear. Shifsky keeps it in. McKinney on the chase for the puck. Wraps it around the boards from behind the net. Staying with it. Nielsen fighting him for it. And Lee is able to clear the zone.
For as much as we talked about the shot discrepancy in the first period, the second period is 11-2 Wolverines with about 6 minutes left.
But still no goals from either team in this second period. The shots have completely flip-flopped between the two periods, but the goals, even though Michigan State yet to score in this period, have worked the opposite way. Almost losing control of it in a dangerous area was Fantilli. Coming away with the puck is Park. Michigan trying to clear the defensive zone, and that they do. McKinney cross ice for Valentini, who will send it deep. Augustine collects, and he'll play it to Sturback. Sends it up for Stramel. Stramel trying to enter. 3 Wolverines there, gets it in. And Russell backhands it, and he gets sent around the boards. Robertson with a nice defensive play to force Michigan State out of the zone. Robertson there once again, fighting with Stramel for the puck. Stramel backhands it for Martone. Cross ice pass, just wide of the stick of Ministo. Michigan State with it behind the Michigan net. Longest possession they've had this period in the Michigan defensive zone. Wraps it around the boards once again. Ernest trying to clear, and he can't. Gets set back deep. Centering opportunity. Now at the point. Basgul. Extra pass, a shot wide of the net. Michigan trying to come away with it. A Wolverine hits the ice. It was Ernest. No whistle, though. Draper finds Ernest, and the Wolverines finally clear. Moldenauer tries to stick it away, but the Spartans back on the chase. Nice pass out in front. Couldn't get control of it was Romani, but he was one-on-one with Ivan Kovic.
Yeah, Romani not being able to get control of that almost made the save slightly more difficult for Ivan Kovic, who just couldn't find the puck right away.
O'Connell has it in the corner for the Spartans. Spins away from Perron. Lindstrom enters the zone for the Spartans. A shot over the crossbar and a big hit on Will Horkoff. Made by Caden Lindstrom. Michigan State Spartans faithful here, trying to make their presence felt, and amazed out Yost. Their MSU chants drowned out quickly by a Let's Go Blue chant made by the children of Yost. Sturback with it in the defensive zone, advances it to Van Sagi. Van Sagi wraps it around the boards, takes a shot saved by Ivan Kovic and lifted but caught at the point by Geary. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Sent down the length of the ice, but on net. So no icing, and Augustine will be forced to freeze the puck. Lots of physicality going on after the whistle between Malcolm Spence, Michael Hage, Patrick Geary, and Maxime Sturback.
Yeah, great job by Spence, though, to force Augustine to cover, getting the offensive zone face-off on what was almost a near icing. Luckily for the Wolverines, it went on net. But both goaltenders very confident, something that you and I talked about pregame with their puck handling, right? Augustine and Ivan Kovic, both in the past 4 or 5 minutes have had sequences where they've just taken an extra beat with the puck behind their net and been able to find an open guy rather than just send it around the board. So something that's incredibly impressive, especially considering Ivan Kovic's a freshman, and I know Augustine's a Red Wings prospect, but still something that you don't see a ton of in college.
Three minutes and 17 seconds, and we haven't had a whistle in a long time.
Yeah.
They'll come out and clean the ice. Both teams take a quick break. As now both teams go back into the Michigan offensive zone after Augustine covered. It will be McKinney and Stramel on the faceoff.
Not something the Spartans thought would be happening after their best sustained offensive zone time of the period.
Spartans win the faceoff, however, and now Stramel breaks out. He'll enter the zone for the Spartans with some speed. Centering pass deflected out in front. Chasing after is Valentini and cleared. Now it's Fantilli. Drops it off for Shifsky. Shifsky shot from the slot up and over the crossbar. Stramel tries to clear. Shifsky still with it. Turns and fires one. Saved by Augustine. Fantilli from the point. Blocked out in front. Now Martone moving in. Does he have a step on Fantilli? No. A great defensive play made by Luca Fantilli. Michigan State still with it, though. That shot blocked in front by Shifsky, and he'll come off fresh new skaters on for the Wolverines. Nice tied up stick by Tyler Duke to send that pass no one home. A little miscommunication between Ivan Kovic behind his own net. He quickly gets back in position, and Michigan clears. Michigan State having control of this one in the last 5 minutes of the period was the other side of the story for the first 15. 2 minutes to go now in the second period. Spartans trying to tie this game even before the final 20. An eerily similar contest to last night's.
Yeah, very similar.
Michigan scoring in the first period, and then no goals until the third. Looking to be the same now as a minute 42 remains in the second period. Michigan leading 1-0. Perron dumps and chases and is first to the puck. Swings it around the boards for Park. Back to the point for Mullen. Rayon Mullen moving in, takes a shot into the center of Augustine, and he'll cover.
Even though it's been, a minute and 50 seconds or so since the last time, just felt like the Wolverines needed something there to kind of stop play. Kind of just were like they were clearing, they were getting new guys on the ice.
A tough angle on Ivan Kovic. Might have hit off the elbow of Ivan Kovic and went into the net.
I couldn't tell if it went off his pad or his elbow, but definitely went off Ivan Kovic and back into the net as he was just simply recovering. Just an unfortunate goal from the Wolverines, or for the Wolverines to give up there.
Saved by Ivan Kovic, and then on the like that or tied up one apiece, the Spartans get their first goal of the series. Almost 5 complete periods in, but they answer. And in an eerily similar story of the first period, just flipped the opposite way. Shots were 17-4 in the Spartans' favor in the first period, but Michigan escaped that period with a 1-0 lead, and now in this period with 54 seconds remaining, shots are 14-6 in the Wolverines' favor, but the Spartans lead the period 1-0. Michigan wins an offensive zone faceoff, but taken away, and now a 2-on-1. Apologies for the technical difficulties. I believe we should be back live now. We lost some connection there for a minute or two. But nothing missed over here at Yost. It's still 1-1, and it's still the second intermission.
Yeah.
We apologize for any technical difficulties we may be having with this stream. We are doing our best on the Yost Wi-Fi. Michigan State enters the offensive zone as Stramel fights for it with Duke. Duke comes away with it for the Wolverines and clears. Moldenauer dumps it for Perron, who will chase. An icing called against the Spartans, and Michigan will have an offensive face-off coming with 19:27 to go in the period. Rael Mullen fires it back in the offensive zone. Augustine's there to collect, and he'll leave it for Sturback. Now near the blue line, it's Lee. Has it sticked away by Hage. Lee still chasing. Rael Mullen wraps it around his own net. Now fires it off the boards towards Spence. Delayed offsides allows Michigan to collect. Robertson off the boards for Horkoff, who is back on the ice after suffering from an apparent injury. McKinney off the boards. Ralph there to intercept it and dump it deep for the Spartans. Michigan enters the offensive zone. Michigan State able to clear. Lindstrom leaves it off for Romani. Skating in, shot, and he scores! It squeaks by Ivan Kovic, and the Spartans, with 2 unanswered, take the lead 2-1. With 18-16, it's Romani, and he's got both goals on the night for the Spartans.
Yeah, 2 unanswered in about 3 to 4 minutes of game time. That's just 5-hole on Ivan Kovic. Certainly one that he wants back, a save that he feels he should make. So now, it's on to the Wolverines. They haven't scored even strength tonight. If they don't get power play, they're going to have to. So how do they respond now?
Michigan State wins the faceoff, sends it deep, but an icing called, and Michigan will have the chance to get on the offensive end. Michigan scoreless since the first period. Michigan State ended the second period, with the goal to even up the score, and now comes out firing with that gained momentum and takes the lead 2-1. 18-11 to go in the third period. Michigan State wins the defensive zone faceoff, and Fantilli is there to collect. Sends it across for Duke. Draper drops it off for Park. Park has it, moving in. Hits the brakes, takes a shot. Saved by Augustine, the rebound. And a scrum. Augustine ends up flat on his back, as does Ernest after their goalie.
Definitely a scrum out in front, but I'm not sure if they thought it was. I don't know if the puck was actually ever frozen by Augustine here.
Park took a great shot. Ernest was right there in front. It looked like it was underneath the pads of Augustine, but
yeah, Ernest was just kind of chipping away.
Nonetheless, an offensive zone face-off coming for the Wolverines. It'll be Hughes on to take it. Moldenauer with it. And sticked away by the Spartans. Manisto on the charge. Sends it around the boards and collects it himself. Now sends it back behind the net. Mackey up to the top to Sturbach. Sturbach takes a shot from the point. It gets blocked out in front. Now Michigan able to send it the length of the ice and get 5 fresh skaters on.
Yeah, they need a change there.
Pass sent the length of the ice and an icing. No one touched it. 17-13 to go in the period. Spartans lead 2-1 in Yost.
Now you've got Hage, Horkoff, Spence likely on the ice for the Wolverines. So hopefully, clean draw and set up a chance for the Wolverines to tie this game back up.
Michigan State won the faceoff, but cleared once again and called for another icing. Hage and Shouty on the Michigan offensive zone faceoff, and Hage comes away with it. Stolen away by Shouty, and off the boards to Sturbach. Cross ice pass for Russell. Ivan Kovic there to play. Fantilli start deep in the zone, sends it out to Horkoff, shoveled to Hage, who will send it deep. Stramel able to clear. Horkoff takes it away at center ice. Spence cleans it up. Nice stick by Martone. Tries to get a cross crease pass to Stramel, but couldn't corral it, and the net is loose, so a whistle.
Yeah, that was Spence going flying into the post there as he was just trying to get back on defense to prevent the 2-on-1. Wolverines need something on offense. They need to generate some shots, some rebounds, something. Hopefully, you would think it has to come on the puck of one of their big three, Hage, Horkoff, Hughes. Last night came from secondary scoring. It was Park, it was Perron. The Wolverines need somebody to step up, as after Spence went crashing into the boards, he's down halfway in the tunnel.
Michigan State wins the faceoff. One-time shot for Basgol. Gets blocked in front by Shifsky, who comes away with it and able to send it the length of the ice.
As solid as a block as you'll see. That made a very audible crack there.
Michigan State on the chase. They've controlled the first 4 minutes of this period. 16 minutes to go in the third. Michigan trails 2-1. Shifsky enters the zone. Sends it around the boards. Valentini there, and Michigan State able to take away possession. Lee tries a centering pass, intercepted by Barnett. Off the boards to McKinney. Couldn't corral the puck. Lee enters once again. Sent it for Bansagi. Tries a backhand shot. Misses the net. Lee kicks it to Lindstrom. Lindstrom working on McKinney. Shifsky tips it away and clears the zone and will come off for a change.
Yeah, Shifsky was out there for like a minute and a half. He was gassed.
Park comes away with the puck. Enters for Draper, a shot saved by Augustine. Puck being poked around in the Michigan offensive zone. Now it's Draper. Tries to find a teammate, but intercepted. A fight for it, still in the zone, and finally cleared by the Spartans. Rayo Mullen collects. Finds Park. Backhands it to Draper. Tries to find Ernessy, but couldn't. Entering the offensive zone is O'Connell for the Spartans. Ernessy comes away with it. Cross ice pass for Tyler Duke. Duke tries to make a move, but didn't fool the defender. Romani with 2 goals already. Pass to Geary. That shot deflected and wide. And a whistle.
For as clean as the Wolverines looked last night, they're just not going tape to tape quite enough on these passes. There's just too many loose pucks, too many errant passes that are just unfortunately landing in the sticks in the hands of Spartans players, so Wolverines need to go tape to tape more.
One draw, just goes wide, but a nice effort. Still in the offensive zone of the Spartans. Geary tries a shot, that gets blocked out in front. Spartans still with it. Manisto tries a shot from the point. Gets knocked down by Moldenauer, and Michigan clears. Spartans dump it once again. Wrapped around the boards for Barnett. Off the boards for Hughes. Drops it for Moldenauer. Now Michigan will enter the zone. It's Schock. Takes a shot, saved by Augustine, and it'll cover. 13:45 to go in the third period.
Much better entrance there from the Wolverines. You would have liked to see them get a shot with a better angle on that. Schock kind of shot it from outside the face-off dot. So, I mean, ideally you get a better shot, but you get an offensive zone face-off, you get your top line back out there. Better tape-to-tape passing there from Hughes and Moldenauer.
Tie up for the face-off. Michigan comes away with it in the offensive zone. Fantilli moves in, takes a shot, kicked away by Augustine. Rebound, shot blocked in front. Another shot, still loose in the offensive zone. Now Michigan State able to clear. It's Russell moving in on Fantilli. Spins and tries a backhand pass, taken away by Duke. Now Horkoff, he'll enter. Looking for an option at the point. Off the boards for Spence. Back to the point for Duke. That pass, Spence comes away with. Hage drops it off, a one-time shot, saved by Augustine. Rayon Mullen had a good look there. Spence out in front, puck loose, and finally covered by Trey Augustine.
Better shift there from the Wolverines in the offensive zone, and I really like what Malcolm Spence did, just taking it straight to the blue paint, straight to the crease. Much better job from the Wolverines as they try and see a way if they can get more pucks on net against.
They'll come out and clean the ice, but as you mentioned, Trey Augustine, such a talented goalkeeper that the Spartans have to feel good with the lead. It is tough to get pucks by him.
Yeah,
the
certainly.
only time the Wolverines were able to tonight was on a power play in the first period where Horkoff got a great chance right out in front and was able to bury it.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't place that puck any better than where Horkoff did it. Certainly not on Augustine. Augustine's made every save he's supposed to tonight, similarly to Ivan Kovic on the other side, outside of maybe the second goal that Romani scored going 5-hole, but Wolverines need to just continue the pressure, continue to apply pressure. Augustine, not allow the Spartans to get clean breakouts out of their own zone, hopefully force a couple turnovers.
Michigan comes away with the faceoff. Rayon Mullen moving in, tries to make a move, gets sticked away, and the Spartans able to clear. Caught at mid-ice by Lee. It gets taken down, and Sagi can't come away with possession. Nielsen with it. Cross ice pass for Vansagi. Rayon Mullen there. McKinney drops it off for Shifsky. Back to McKinney, who will enter the zone for the Wolverines. He moves in and gets taken down. Crowd asking for a whistle, but won't get it.
Good no call there.
Vansagi, cross ice for Lee, kicks it to himself. Shifsky misses on a hit. Lee drops it off to the point for Sturbach. Long distance shot. Blocker down by Ivan Kovic. McKinney looking for options, finds Schock. Michigan trying to clear. Ernest deflects it, no icing. Michigan unable to keep it in. And an offsides called against the Spartans. 11:38 to play in the third period. Spartans lead 2-1.
Yeah, rougher breakout there by McKinney and Schock. Just a little unsure. Schock mishandled the initial pass, forcing kind of the dump and chase in by Ernest. So Wolverines need to be a little bit cleaner than that if they want to sustain the puck and sustain possession through the neutral zone.
Draper and Lindstrom. Michigan comes away with the faceoff. Fantilli on the chase, back behind his own net, wraps it around, makes a few Spartans miss, tries to make another one, but Lindstrom gets a stick in the way. Fantilli recollects, cross ice for Ernest, who couldn't get good control of the pass, takes a shot, and gloved by Augustine. Shots have really evened up, 28-25. Spartans lead in that department, and lead in goals, 2-1. 11:21 to go in the third period. 10 fresh skaters on. Spartans come away with the defensive zone faceoff. Clearance attempt intercepted by Robertson, but the Spartans are able to recollect. Shouty will enter the zone, tries a long-range shot, goes wide, wraps her all the way around the boards and out of the zone. Colin Ralph fighting for it. And Michigan comes away in the offensive zone. Robertson from the point, fires one off the boards and into the corner. Rael Mullen whiffs on a pass, and the Spartans able to come away. Diving for it, and a great play made by Perron, who will now enter the zone. Stick tied up, still with it. Nice pass, drop off for Hughes, shot blocked. Cross ice, one-timer for Fantilli. What a save by Augustine. Michigan still applying pressure. Fantilli tries a long-range shot, that goes wide. Duke keeps it in. Fantilli. Back to Duke. Duke from the point. That shot blocked out in front. Hughes trying to keep it in, but can't. Michigan will be forced to reset. Fantilli moves back in, fires it around the length of the boards. Stramel's there, kept in by Horkoff. The pass kept in the zone by Fantilli. Hage behind the net. Halfway through the third period, Michigan applying pressure, down a goal. In the corner, Stramel comes away with it. Michigan still with it. A great pass out in front for Perron. Nothing comes of it. Or excuse me, for Hage. Michigan State trying to clear. Duke keeps it in. Glove down by Basgel, and he'll lift it the length of the ice. Fantilli backhands it for Horkoff. Horkoff will re-enter the zone. But Michigan looking to change, and the Spartans able to go on the attack now finally. Russell drops it off. Stolen away by McKinney. Finds Horkoff. Horkoff dumps it deep, and he'll go off for a change. Schock trying to keep it in the zone, and he does. Shifsky. He'll play it in. McKinney keeps it in the zone. A nice defensive play by McKinney. Robertson trying to find help. He gets hit and knocked away from him. Spartans will clear and get a change. Valentini finds Rael Mullen. Michigan will reset. Valentini comes off the ice. Rael Mullen fires it the length of the ice. Ernest there. Michigan State comes away with it and clears. Doing a good job protecting the defensive zone. Ernest off the boards trying to find Park. Nobody home on the pass. And now it's Lee with a step in the offensive zone for the Spartans. He moves in on Barnett. Takes the shot. It slowly drifts towards Ivan Kovic. Played away from danger. Barnett on the boards. Lindstrom fighting him for it. And Rael Mullen there to clean it up. Pass to the point. It's Sturback. And that pass tipped in out of the zone. Geary will send it back deep. Ivan Kovic slows it down.
Yeah, no stoppage for nearly 5 minutes as the Wolverines had a couple great chances during that sequence.
7 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the third period. Shouty shovels it for the Spartans in play. Fantilli there to clean. Tries to find Hughes. He lets it escape the zone and fired back in deep by the Spartans. It's been a long time with no whistle. Under 7 to play in the third period. Time ticking on the Wolverines, who trail by a goal. Fantilli. Tipped in by Perron. Moving in with speed. Extra pass for Moldenhauer. The backhand opportunity with the wide open net drifts wide.
What a play by Perron to get that puck over.
Maybe the best chance the Wolverines have had all night. Unable to convert. Score remains 2-1 Spartans. Hage tries to enter, gets hit by West. Crowd asking for a cross-check, won't get it. Now Russell moves in for the Spartans, 3-on-2. Stolen away by Robertson. Hage hits the ice. Now Hage will collect. Tries to fire a cross-ice pass for Spence. Gets deflected and intercepted. Russell, he tries the same off the skate and out of the zone. Approaching 6 minutes to play in the period. Martone, he will shovel it deep for the Spartans. Duke, behind his own net, takes a breather. Finds Robertson. Up for Shifsky and a miscommunication. That pass intercepted. Moving in, Van Sagi tries a pass in front. A great opportunity for Stramel. Couldn't put it on net.
This is awesome hockey by both sides right now, flying up and down the ice.
It's been minutes without a whistle. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Barnett at the M logo. Fires it deep. Around the boards. McKinney trying to chase. Shifsky alongside him. Barnett tries to keep it in, but it escapes the zone. Michigan will be forced to tag up. Lee moving in, one-on-one, covered by Ivan Kovic. Yost takes a collective sigh of relief. 4:58 to play in the third period.
Yeah, that was Riker Lee just moving in on Ivan Kovic, trying to go backhand, back to the forehand. Just got a little bit congested down near the blue paint. On the other side, Michigan's best chance prior to the Moldenhauer empty net miss was Luca Fantilli, one-timer. I don't know how Trey Augustine made the save. He's sliding the other direction. He made the save back the other way with his blocker. A couple really special saves from Trey Augustine in the last period or so, but Nick Moldenhauer, really the best chance of the game so far. On the feed from Jay Perron, who's been sensational for the Wolverines. Another forward that has just done everything he can to keep the puck in possession, keep the puck in the offensive zone, with a sensational feed over Moldenhauer, who just missed the backhand high and wide, but it might be challenging goalie interference.
There's a call being made on the ice. Not sure quite what it is. There's conversations happening between the refs and Brandon Dorado.
Well, the challenge light is on, so I'd assume they challenged something. I just don't know what they challenged.
Well, the previous play was Michigan used their timeout. I guess they challenged for a penalty on the Spartans.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
That will be Michigan's timeout used instead. 4:58 to go in the third period. Still 5-on-5, and it's 2-1 Spartans.
Next 2 minutes or so, you start to look over Ivan Kovic, see when he starts at the bench. My guess, probably around 2 to 2:30 left on the clock.
We've still got about 2:30 left until that happens. Crowd begging for a penalty call against the Spartans, won't get it. Could have had a hook there against Perron. Michigan looking to clear the defensive zone. Dropped off for Romani, who has 2 goals on the night. O'Connell and Lindstrom trying to fight Hughes and Duke in the corner. Gets cleared towards the point. Shot from the point gets deflected away from the net. West wraps it around, and Duke is there. Gets tipped by Perron into the Michigan offensive zone, and both teams will get a change. Hage with a nice interception. He'll move into the zone. Hits the brakes, fires a pass. Dropped off for Barnett. He'll take a shot from the point. Gets deflected out in front. Hage with it. Leaves it for Schock at the point. Schock will fire a shot. Blockered down by Augustine. Michigan State able to clear. Hage moves back in with some speed. He gets taken down. Still no whistle from the official. It's been about 3 close calls. None have gone towards Michigan's way. And this Yost crowd has seen enough. Had it stolen away by Manisto. Mansagi now enters the zone for the Spartans. He gets tied up around the boards. Stolen away by Horkoff. Kept in by Ralph. Fires at the length of the ice. And an offside's called.
Yeah, I think the penalty it's especially upset about is Malcolm Spence took a huge hit kind of behind the, actually twice he did. So I'm not entirely sure which one they're upset about, but there were, as you said, numerous close calls there.
This crowd has seen enough, letting the officials know how they feel. Three minutes to play in the third period. Wolverines trail by a goal. Fantilli tries to keep it in. Stramel able to clear. Fight for it along the boards. Fantilli comes away with it. Tyler Duke moves up the ice and attempts to send it in, but it goes up and over the boards, and a neutral zone face-off coming.
Now is about the time where you start just taking a glance over Ivan Kovic. See eventually when he chooses to head to the bench what Brandon Naruto chooses to do and bring the extra skater on for the Wolverines. But they've had their fair chances here in really the second half of this period. There's no doubt about it. They've had plenty of chances to tie this game, and the Wolverines are hoping just to get one more great one.
Draper against Stramel, and Stramel comes away with the face-off win for the Spartans. Stopped at mid-ice and lifted deep. Bounces behind the Michigan net. Schock wraps it around. Ernest didn't see it coming. Geary with it. Wraps it around the net. Looking for a shot. Saved by Ivan Kovic. He'll freeze. 2:32 to go in the third period. And Barry, you're thinking now the next chance Michigan will.
Next time they can set something up, I would start looking towards Ivan Kovic. Right? Michigan State wins this faceoff and can hold it here for another 45 seconds. Then, just time keeps ticking away.
Wolverines win the faceoff. Duke fires a pass for Ernest. Ernest lays a big hit along the boards. Michigan still looking to enter. Draper tips it deep. Ivan Kovic still in net for now, be forced to reset. Duke fires it back for Fantilli. Fantilli sends it in the offensive zone. And here comes Ivan Kovic, wrapping it around the net. It's Horkoff, sixth skater on the ice for the Wolverines. No goalie. And an empty net. Michigan setting it up. It's Hage in the center for Horkoff. One-time shot. Gets deflected up and over into the netting. Horkoff so dangerous. Just needs a few inches of space to fire off a quick one.
I mean, that was a missile. I believe Augustine got a piece of this.
Yeah, off the mask.
Right off the helmet.
Off his helmet and up into the netting. Horkoff has had a lot of close calls. Already has 1 goal tonight. 1:40 to go. Michigan wins the offensive zone faceoff. Perron near the point. Robertson back to Perron. He'll circle back, gives it back to Robertson at the point. Finds Hage, who takes a shot. Rebound opportunity. Horkoff, another save by Augustine. Michigan still with it. Stramel fighting Horkoff near the boards. Kicked out. Trying to keep it, and now nobody out in front. And an empty net goal scored. Porter Martone, his 11th goal of the season. And that will just about do it. 3-1 Spartans with 1:09 to play.
Yeah, another chance for Horkoff. Just a left pad save by Trey Augustine, but...
And another unbelievable save by Augustine.
Unreal save. I mean, all the credit in the world to Augustine, what he's been able to do. And really the last period and a half or so, as good as Ivan Kovic was in the first period, Augustine has been equally better here in the past period and a half.
Augustine, 29 saves on the night. He's been outstanding. But so has Ivan Kovic. He has 30 saves on the night. .40 seconds to play. Ivan Kovic left the net once again. Park chasing it down with Shouty, and he stops Michigan State from being able to score another empty netter. Park escapes the zone. Under 30 seconds to play. Michigan with the 6th skater on. McKinney fires a backhand shot, saved and sticked away by Augustine. Able to clear the zone is Michigan State. Michigan will have to tag up. Valentini enters. 12 seconds to play. Robertson, centering pass, gets tipped wide. 7 seconds, and a pass out in front, covered by Augustine, who is now going after, and a fight breaking out. Augustine left his net to start going after one of Michigan's skaters. Hard to tell who it is from here. I believe it's Will Horkoff.
And as we said, really to start the broadcast, no shortage of bad blood. These teams will meet twice more, once back here in Yost, once more in Detroit at LCA. But, I mean, I expect those games to be equally chippy as this one was. And that really as last night's was as well.
3.7 remaining. And two 10-minute misconducts given, one to each side. I believe Cole McKinney and Shane Van Sagi, the two recipients. But with 3.7 to play, that doesn't count for much. As 3.7 to play, that doesn't count for much. As the fans now pouring out of Yost Arena. Faceoff gets tied up, and the final seconds tick off. That will do it. Michigan State scores 3 unanswered and answers to the 3-0 shutout loss they received in Munn Ice Arena last night with a 3-1 victory here in Yost tonight. And the series is a draw, exactly how you would shape it up to be between these two schools, number 1 versus number 3. Both teams win on the road.
Yeah, and as someone who's seen Wisconsin play this season and seen Western Michigan play, here at Yost. I think there's no question that these two teams right now are the top two teams in the country, two of the top probably 5 or 10 goaltenders in the country. They have talent up and down the rosters. Just if these teams meet again in the regular season, but if they're able to meet again in the Big Ten tournament and in the NCAA tournament, I mean, it's must-watch TV. It's an awesome hockey game that we saw here tonight.
Perry, I love what you said there, but I think if there's any Wisconsin Badgers fans listening, they're going to hate you for it. The top 3 teams in the country all belong to the Big Ten, so as you mentioned, watching how Big Ten play will continue to go this season. Penn State's right there in the mix as well, of course, with Gavin McKenna. But watching how this Big Ten play will shape up the rest of the season is going to be super exciting. Michigan has another series coming up in a couple of months against the Spartans once again. But between those 3 teams sitting at the top of the national rankings, Michigan a split in a home series against the Wisconsin Badgers, a split at a home-and-home series against Michigan State. Michigan State swept by the Wisconsin Badgers. So I think they have the 1, 2, 3 rankings right as it stands now. But I agree with you that those 3 teams, maybe these 2 are the 2 best. Maybe Wisconsin fits in somewhere there, but I would say very confidently that those 3 teams are the 3 best in the country, all residing in the Big Ten. So through the Big Ten tournament into the NCAA tournament, the Big Ten will be must-watch hockey. But it's still very early in the season, a lot of hockey to be played. Both teams off to a fast start. Michigan State picks up, I would say, a much-needed win in Big Ten play.
Yeah,
they lost tonight. They would have drawn to even 4-4 in Big Ten play. They improved to 5-3. Michigan, on the other hand, drops to 7-3 in Big Ten play, 16-4 on the year. But I wouldn't expect this loss to hurt their rankings, especially after a 3-0 win in East Lansing last night.
I agree. Two road wins in this series. Like we were saying before, we thought that Michigan might lose last night and win tonight just because of the home ice. Completely flipped my expectations, but still split. I agree. Shouldn't hurt Michigan's rankings too much. Really, 2 evenly matched games. It's not like they got smacked around in one and kind of won a close one. So at the end of the day, it was a phenomenal hockey game. Phenomenal, really, really solid game.
Michigan State will meet once again, as they will meet twice in the basketball season. Both those programs are absolutely rolling right now, despite Michigan State taking a loss to Duke earlier today. But both of those series will be must-see TV in both basketball and hockey later in February. But we thank you for listening in to some Big Ten rivalry hockey here on WCBN Sports, the official student voice of Michigan athletics. Alongside Perry Mourtzinos, I'm Ethan Sommers, and we appreciate you spending some time with us on your Saturday night. Michigan State wins this one 3-1 in Ann Arbor. We'll leave you, as we always do, with a good night and a Go Blue.